Hopelessly stuck in a grocery line. Toilet paper sold out on Amazon Prime. Here among the masses, the crowds build up. Hoarding and storing tissue for their butt. They canceled the classes, the concerts, parades. Called off the big dance, the NBA. Careful and cautious with so much concern. And you're all at Costco spreading your germs. The stock will replenish when the shipment comes in. But the preppers come back and they'll do it again. The shelves are all empty, there's no more Purell. Two Karens are fighting for the last Cottonelle. The market goes down and the market comes up. But everyone is too concerned with their butt. The hoarding and storing is testing my nerves. The way to beat the virus is to flatten the curve. So I'm keeping my distance. Everybody take heed. I'll be alone, nowhere near a cough or sneeze. Because I'm reading and gaming and staying indoors. I'm waiting and hoping that this will run its course. I'm eating and pacing and not watching sports. I'm waiting and hoping that this will run its course. I'm keeping my distance. You better take heed. I'm keeping my distance.
This episode sponsored by Keeps. I love the Keeps, and I'll tell you why in a little bit here. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/Opie to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/Opie.
Hello.
Sue Costello, what's going on? So how are you doing with this self-isolation, this stay-at-home, this quarantining, this social distancing, this should I wear a mask or not? Should I wear gloves? Should I go shopping? Should I stay in a line? What the hell do we do?
I'm no expert, so I don't know. But all I know is I put my mask on and I stay away from people.
Yes.
But I also think that we should be able to go out. I absolutely think we should be able to go out.
Well, of course we should be able to go out, but the problem is, where do you live? You live in Queens, right?
I live in Queens, yeah.
Yeah, well, the problem is there's too many people in Queens and too many people in Manhattan and Brooklyn and whatnot. New York City is fucked. You know that, Sue Costello.
I'm trying to be in La La Land and pretend like it's not. The only good news about, well, not the only good news, but the good news about this is the day we got quarantined, the day I was walking down the street and we got that emergency alert where we were going, and like the Amber Alert.
Yeah.
It felt literally like we were going to war. I mean, the ambulances were everywhere, and I thought we were going to just get locked in our apartments like China. I really did. I thought we were only going to be able to go out one day a week to go to get food. And I was like, I'm not going down. I'm not going down in this pandemic. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why I did it or how it came about, but I sat down on my floor, I hung a little sign behind my head, and I started a TV show, and I've done 46 episodes so far.
I've seen a few of them. Sue Costello TV, live from Queens, New York. We used to be big stars. I used to be a big radio star. Now I'm in a basement in a house at the beach. You're in a apartment in Queens doing Sue TV. Oh my God, life is so weird. But you have fun with that TV show, man.
I pull it together every day at 5. I do an hour a day.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of people following me now. They got press. I already got a review on it.
What do you mean you got a review? I can't get a review on this stupid podcast. You're getting reviews for Sue Costello TV?
Yes, I got a great review, actually.
Who reviewed it?
This guy, Art Levine, he wrote a big review about how I created this positive TV show and how brilliant it was that I just sat down on my floor and decided to pull it out of my butt and do it.
I love it.
What do you think people would do if you told them 3 months ago that the entire economy is going to collapse and there's going to be a huge health crisis and we're all going to have to stay in our house?
Yeah.
How do you think we would have said people would have acted like animals, right?
Of course.
But they haven't.
Well, they're starting to act like animals. everyone's starting to lose their patience. You've seen the videos. Now people are getting knocked down to the ground and arrested for not social distancing. And then the people are like, well, fuck you and your social distancing, man. There's cracks. We're starting to crack a little bit as a society over this whole thing.
Yeah, we need a leader. I wrote on Facebook yesterday, I understand everybody else has their thing, but why don't we have a leader that's telling people that they're doing a good job? Why don't we have a leader that's showing us a way to... There's a lot of positive that's going on, and I was going to say about that comedy. So I've been able in the past couple of weeks to see every single comedian and person that I've ever worked with ever on Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. You guys are all hanging out together because you're all losing your minds at the same time because you're not on a stage.
Well, we're doing these shows, these weird Zoom shows where you go on and the comedian and the audience is on the Zoom show with you. Yeah,
I seen them. They're pretty good. We do have a leader. His name is Donald J. Trump.
Well, I don't know if he has like a personality leader. We need a leader with a personality who gives us hope. We need that.
You mean we need a leader that doesn't put himself first?
Well, just somebody who exudes hope. My TV show Costello is based on that.
Yes.
My new TV show that I was supposed to do with CBS, that's what it's based on, the split, which is so crazy, Opie. My TV script is based on the haves and the have-nots.
Oh, I know. In this case, it's the people that had the coronavirus and the people that have not had it yet. And if you had the coronavirus, you're going to be able to go back in society and walk around like a rock star. Like nothing could hurt me, even those killer hornets.
I know. As if it couldn't get any worse. Now they're telling us that there's murderous hornets. Can you imagine if you were really a neurotic and an anxiety-ridden person already, and then they start telling you that there's killer hornets? You just get under your bed and never leave again.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the killer hornets because that means the killer hornets were somewhere else in the world and it didn't seem like a big deal in that area. So why is it a big deal if the killer hornets are in America?
You got to be careful what you wish for, because we said the same thing about China when they were putting up those videos of China stuck in their houses and they were all screaming, and we were like, wow, that's so crazy. That's so far away.
True. So let's go back to the leaders with hope. So let's break them down. Trump doesn't really give us that hope. Uh-oh.
No.
Here comes the hate. You mentioned Trump in a negative light.
We don't even have to get into the hate part. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's an actual fact. That's not even an opinion. That's a fact.
All right, but watch how I bring everyone around. I don't think Biden is the one that will give us hope either.
Neither do I. So I'm right there with you, Opie.
Because I think he's just a typical politician that says the exact perfect thing, but there's no soul behind what he says whatsoever. Know who I like? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo. Nipples and all.
I don't know about Cuomo.
You don't know about
Jury's
Cuomo?
Still out. Because I got to see what he's doing with what's going on with this unemployment. It's really bothering me what's going on with the unemployment with the people. It's really making me mad. I know people have a problem with Trump, but he wanted to give the $600 pandemic insurance to everybody straight from the federal government. And the state said, no, we want to disperse it. People who are struggling financially already are going absolutely mental because they're not only going mental, there's some people that are really struggling financially that were already behind the eight ball.
Well, you're not wrong about that. I think giving people $1,200, sure, for a lot of people, that's a start and a very good start. But the amount of taxes that we pay in this damn country, they should be giving all of us way more money than $1,200 to get us through this whole thing until we get to the other side of this. $1,200? Are you kidding? Everyone, every tax season, we all look and go, why are we giving up this much money to the federal government, the state government, the local government? So they have way more money. They have way more of our money that they could easily be giving back to us right now. $1,200 for most people is a fucking joke.
If we all owed them taxes or if they overpaid us all, they would have a website in 5 seconds that was ready to go back to take all the money.
Nice.
And they're torturing people, Opie. They are. I mean, if you look on the New York labor Twitter, people are just losing their minds because they're confusing people. People are calling. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're claiming every week. In California, you don't have to claim every week because what does it matter if you claim every week? Everybody's out of work. And Cuomo, he didn't clean the trains until the 2 homeless guys died.
All right. There's a lot to digest there. So you're so not wrong about on it. Oh, my mic. See, they're trying to stop us, Sue Costello. They're trying to stop us. These sons of bitches.
How funny would that be if all of a sudden you were in your basement and I was in my bedroom and we became more powerful than we ever did and they started to come find us?
Well, then we'd have to come up with our diabolical laughs.
Oh, we'd have to do like this.
I'm kind of bummed you didn't do the diabolical laugh. Let me hear a diabolical laugh.
I'll do it with you.
I like it. All right, so a couple things. The unemployment, you're so on with that. They want to make it very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day they were talking about the trains in New York City, and they cleaned them for the first time in 115 years. Oh, my God. That's crazy.
And it's only because 2 homeless men died. That's the only reason why they did it, Opie. So now Cuomo's on the news.
Yeah.
Cleaning the train himself. Trust me, he might be doing some good too, but I think we got to cut all the bullshit now. All the fourth wall is broken, and I was talking about this before all this even happened. The millennials, they don't want to buy things anymore. They don't have any money. They're all living with their parents. They can't even get a job. I'm like, well, historically, they start you out when you're 18.
Yep.
Get you committed to a brand.
Yep.
And then it's you're with them for life. So most of the times, if you look in somebody's refrigerator, they have a lot of the brands that they got when they were kids.
Sure.
And that's how they get you with the smoking and the vaping. They go to the young kids.
Yeah, the millennials are a very unique breed, that's for sure. For the first time in history, you're not guaranteed a job or a place to live on your own after college. Most of these kids are moving back in with their parents right after college, and then they got incredible debt because the college system is completely out of control. So you're in debt for many, many years after going to college. You know, when we were growing up, you went to college. Sure, you had student loans, but at least you knew you had a decent job coming out of college and you could at least afford somewhere to live on your own. And that's just not the case anymore.
So my point is that the system was already stretched to the limits anyways because these dinosaurs weren't paying attention to change anyway. So now we're in a situation where nobody was ready to change as it was. So now the innovation that's happening, people are really being innovative right now. I really think that the workers are striking. I mean, stuff's happening right now in the country that's never happened before, ever.
Right.
I think we're on the verge of having a huge labor movement like we've never seen before. I know people are getting antsy right now. They're getting a little grumpy.
Yeah.
But I think collectively people are going to come together once they start waking up a little bit to what's going on. And even there was a white-collar Amazon guy, a big supervisor, and I think a supervisor, or vice president, and he quit. He resigned and he wrote a letter and he said he hated the way that they were treating the workers that were trying to protest their health conditions. And let me tell you, the way that's even with the way they're setting up the unemployment, so they're giving everybody $600 a week. It's going to be hard for people to want to go back to work and make less money. They're trying to force the meat workers to go back to work. They've threatened them with taking away their pandemic insurance.
Yeah.
And they're going to make them go back to work in unsafe
conditions, yeah.
And I'm like, well, why don't you just stop the $600 and give them hazard pay with it?
Wow,
Transfer
perfect.
the funds.
You're smart, man.
Well, my dad was a labor mediator.
I remember you telling me that. There's a lot of truth in what you speak, but it's very complicated because New York is so crowded. It's really hard to figure out how you reopen things in a safe manner. I think in a safe manner, I should say. But the rest of the country, you know, they don't have as many people around, so they could open things up a bit safer. This whole thing is just very, very scary, Sue Costello.
I'm very pragmatic. And again, my father trained me my whole life. When you're a mediator, you listen to both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides compromise and both sides walk away happy. That's what you do when you negotiate. Anything other than that, they're trying to take advantage of you. So I tell everybody on the show, get the hard numbers and then you can decide. So I have my brother-in-law is successful and he lives in Boston and I had a good conversation with him about they don't want to take care of people that haven't been successful. Of course, I understand that everybody doesn't want to take care of people that didn't work as hard as other people and why should you have to help people? Said to him, though, if you don't take care of the people in the inner cities, if you don't take care of the humanity of the poorer people, you're going to get sick. And I'm telling you, Opie, when people go back and look at my tweets, I kept tweeting before any of this happened. I said, what are they going to be, 4 rich people and all the rest of us are going to be dying in the streets?
Yeah.
I said it before this even happened.
I want to slow you down a little bit, though, because how you described how you should negotiate when there's issues in a union or whatever. That's what we should be doing with our politics. You described the solution to the political divide in our country perfectly. Both sides got to
my
listen to
script
the
is
other
this.
side, and they got to make some sacrifices and meet kind of in the middle. And until we realize that as a country, we're fucked, man. We're wasting so much time going at each other like this.
But they don't have anybody telling them that. So what I was saying to my brother-in-law is, yes, you don't have to give anybody money per se, but the inner cities, the human beings, they need to be treated right. They're going to shut down all the pools in the city and over the summer.
Right.
They're going to stop the train system in New York City overnight.
Yeah.
A lot of that is to save money. So my brother-in-law is very successful.
Yeah.
He might not have to care about everybody, but we do have to figure out a way to keep the pools open for the poorer people so that they can function as human beings, so that we can address the issue.
I was with you for most of this episode. Public pools are rough. They are rough.
Yes, but what are you going to do with the inner city when it's 100? Where do poor people usually take their kids?
Right.
In the summer when they can't afford anything else, so they take them to the beach all day.
Here's my prediction. Unfortunately, we're kind of effed in our area because the weather's getting warmer. People are losing their patience. They can't stay home anymore. They look out the window. It's a beautiful day. It's in the 70s. It's in the 80s. Now it's pushing 90, and they're letting their guard down, and they're starting to go out more and more. And these numbers are going to spike in the summer, man. This summer is going to get really ugly, unfortunately, because there's no way around. There's no way around it. There's no way around doing this safely.
Yes, there is. If we had a leader that was really addressing what was going on, the reason why all this is happening is because nobody's giving anybody the hard numbers. They're not saying, they're not making parameters around how people can live. They're not addressing the problem.
Well, I said who that leader is. It's Andrew Cuomo. Just ignore the nipple rings that it looks like he wears through those collared shirts of his when he's doing his press conferences.
No, he needs to step up. They asked him about the homeless situation. He ignored it. They asked him about the unemployment. He ignored it. You cannot ignore questions when you're a leader, when you're an elected leader. He has to answer the questions.
I think Cuomo's doing the best job out of every politician I've seen on TV during this pandemic.
He is. But we need more. We need more working classes when they put together their economic teams or how they're going to open up the states. They don't have any working class people on those panels. They only have wealthy sports people.
Yeah, of course.
They need to have working class representatives. We need an even balance. Drastic times come for drastic measures. That's what's going on right now. We need to invent some other kind of leader that can help balance.
Man, if the situation at hand right now isn't a perfect time for a leader to just step up out of the crowd and leave everyone else behind, who is that person? Who's willing to do that? It's not Biden, and no offense to the Trumpsters out there. It's not Trump. I kind of like the Cuomo, but I think maybe this leader we don't even know really.
No, I think it needs to be a person who's for the people, and to get a leader that's really for the people that has that kind of empathy.
Right.
That's what you need. You need somebody who's not going to be bought off. That's the same thing that goes on with on a micro level with the strikes in the union. This problem has been going on for a long time, so I have a lot of hope about what's going on right now.
All right.
And when I did Mark Maron's podcast 2018, I told him I think we're on the verge of a spiritual revolution. And he was making fun of me, thought I was an idiot. And I was like, really? Well, that's what's going on right now.
How about fuck Mark Maron? How about them apples? How about them apples, Sue Costello? Fuck Mark Maron.
It's a whole new world now, Marky Mark. Sorry.
The guy's done 28,000 episodes, and he doesn't even invite his old friend Opie on. Fuck Mark Maron.
He didn't have you on?
Not once, that bitch. I had him on my radio show when no one knew about the What the Fuck podcast. I had him on my radio show when most people really didn't care about Mark Maron anymore. Ugh.
No, I'm just saying that I said it, and he made fun. People were making fun of me, and I kept saying it. I was like, we need somebody to come in. We're going to have a disruptor come in. We need to have both service and money. People need to mean more than money now, and people are seeing that because you're giving people, even if the people that are getting the $600, they're like, it's not making them happy.
No, it's just,
they're like, what good is this if I can't go to work?
Yeah, no, it's just a start. We need to be giving the people a lot more, and we certainly could do that if we just change the way we think in this country. That's for sure. You talked about empathy. You don't think Donald Trump has empathy?
I don't know. I don't think he has empathy. I think he hasn't been terrible. And I think the press, because everybody's so divided.
Yeah.
And I've talked to people I've talked both sides. I go right down the middle. I listen to my Trump guys. And the one thing I say to the Trump guys that I talk to, I say, why do you give up your critical thinking to one man?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
Right.
Even blue-collar guys. I'm like, you're smart.
Yeah.
Some of the guys, they know what the Socratic method is. I'm like, why do you give up all your critical thinking to one man? And then the other thing is, Trump has done a few things because I've paid attention. That we have to have some hard numbers. We have to pay attention to what's really going on and stop being so divided. Otherwise, we're just going to implode, which is what my whole sitcom is about. And it's blowing my mind even as I'm talking about it. I wrote it in 2017.
It's Sue Costello and her damn sitcom. I'm kidding.
That I've been trying to get people to listen to me about. I'm like, I have the solution.
Right. I don't know if Trump's a fan of the female. I don't even
care. He would be a fan of mine.
I don't think he looks at you guys as equals to a man. You know that, Sue Costello.
But it doesn't even matter to me now. The way I was pushed around between SAG and WGA and CBS and everything, it doesn't even faze me anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a gnat on my shoulder now. I'm like, it doesn't even. I just get the hard numbers. I'm like, I don't care if you think I'm a woman or not. What are we doing?
I hear you.
I don't even care anymore. I don't have the emotions as much anymore.
All right, Sue, hold your horses. I want to talk about Keeps. I love Keeps. And I'll tell you why. A couple of my friends use the Keeps and they swear by it. And I'm getting closer to trying it because since we've been staying at home for all these months, haven't had a haircut in a while, and I thought I was doing okay up top, and it turns out I'm looking like Bozo the Clown. But it's not all gone yet. So I'm thinking I got to dip into the Keeps. Did you know 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35? And the best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. That's why I'm thinking about trying it. Get treated from home. Now, you used to have to go to the doctor's office for your hair loss prescription, but now, thanks to Keeps, you can visit a doctor online and get hair loss medication delivered right to your home. They make it easy and deliver your medication every 3 months so you can say goodbye to pharmacy checkout lines. No, that word again. No one wants to stand in a line. And awkward doctor visits? No, you don't have to do any of that, my friends. And Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. You may have tried them before, but probably never for this price. Prevention is key. Keeps treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months or more to see results, so it's important to act fast. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you'll save. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and nearly 100,000 men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. Keeps treatments start at just $10 a month, plus for a limited time you can get your first month free. Are you ready to take action and prevent hair loss? Go to keeps.com/Opie to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/Opie. Keeps.com/Opie. All right, Sue. There was a reason why I called you today. I want to know what's going on with the movie. And am I still in it?
I want you to be in it, but I wanted to see if you read it and which part you want to be in. We've been doing Zoom, a couple of Zoom things, which because we can't be around each other, we want to be able to rehearse so that when we're let out of our houses, we'll be ready. So I've already done a couple of meet and greets with, that's what I'm going to call it, with the kid who's playing my son and the girl's playing my best friend. And I want you to play the guy who sexually harasses me. That's who I want you to play.
What?
Yes.
Why did you think I was good for that role, Sue Costello? What is wrong with you?
I think you're perfect.
I think
it's going to be your Oscar.
Oh, really? So what do I have to do in this movie?
So there's 2 roles. You can either be my ex-husband.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of like a blue-collar guy who became a lawyer and got a little rich.
Okay.
He's just kind of plain vanilla. I mean, you could do that. But the guy who plays my boss at the Walmart place sexually harasses me.
Yeah.
And then busts me for drugs, and I get he pee tests me and fires me because I won't have sex with him. And he's just a bit of a douchey guy, and it's a very, very juicy role.
So I don't have to do much, do I? Like, walk me through what I got to do. We're in Walmart. You're working for me. I'm your boss, right?
Yeah, you push me around a little bit.
I don't push women around, though. How am I going to practice that?
But it's an acting. This is what's so good about it. It's acting. It's not really who you are.
Oh.
You can play the other guy if you want to.
No, I want to hear more. So I'm the boss. of you
The
at
boss-
Walmart. And how do I push you around? How's the first incident happen?
You try to come on to me on the desk. It's almost like what would happen before all the Me Too movement happened.
All right, so
You come on to me on the desk and try to, like, make out with me.
so is
And we
that
have history because we're all from the same neighborhood. So we like went to high school
yeah.
together. But you made it big because you own this Walmart place,
and
and you have a wife.
oh, I have a wife. So me coming on to you is sexually harassing you. Maybe it's I just think you're cute, and then maybe I want to move on from my marriage and start dating you.
But it's the way you go about it in the office that's the problem.
Uh-oh, and how do I go about it?
You come right out. You push me onto the desk and try to crawl on top of me.
And
Wouldn't that be funny if I just had a fantasy that you did that to me, so I cast you in that role?
do I have to be on top of you for the movie, or do we stop before it gets really awkward like that?
You do push a little bit.
A little bit, all right, and then you're kind of
Yeah, and then I stop you.
and you fall onto the desk. So now it's my move, but before I get on top of you, there's some way where you kick me or something to show
Yeah,
that this
stop
isn't
you.
going down, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then
But you're in the whole movie. That's not just the only scene. You have a son who's a bit of a dick.
right. What's wrong with my son in the movie?
He's a pompous dick like his father, like you.
Oh, so you're casting me for this role because you think I'm a pompous dick. Because me and my wife talk about this all the time. Like when you see a movie or a TV show and the person is cast as being ugly, you know they had to have a roll call for all the ugly people in LA. And then someone had to look at you and go, you're not ugly enough. Or, you're too ugly for this role. You're the perfect ugly for this role. You got the pot. Or if,
Well, I haven't even thought about casting any other pompous assholes.
Oh,
Just
okay.
You're the only one I thought of.
oh, really? That's great. I'm the Brad Pitt of pompous assholes.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you're supposed to laugh.
I
at
want
that.
you to be in the movie. You can be either role, whatever you choose to be. Yeah.
Oh no, you want me to be the
And-
boss where I'm pushing you around and stuff.
Yeah, I think you'll be perfect on it. I really do.
All right, will you calm down with the I think you'll be perfect at it? You should say I think you would be perfect at that because I feel like you're really a good actor.
That's what I said. I said that you'll be able to flex your acting. That it's something.
All right.
And
And
those are the roles that people usually win. That's what people like to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Christian Bale played a crackhead in The Fighter, and
Yeah.
he's a mess, and he got an Oscar. That's what people usually, when you flex your acting roles, that's what you do. You pick something that's not a likable character, or
All right, but
the only person who ever suffered from that was Joan Crawford when she played Mommy Dearest. That's the only person that career suffered from doing a bad role.
you had to mention Mommy Dearest.
Because they thought she was really like that, so she could never do another role because she was so good at it.
And she portrayed my mom. No wire hangers, Christina. That was my mom. Oh, God, the yelling and screaming while I was growing up. Anyway, that's for another time there, Sue Costello. Do I have to gain weight for the role? Do I have to lose weight for the role? Do I have to, lose hair
No.
for the role?
Nope, you can be just perfectly you.
Yeah, but I look like Tom Hanks in Castaway right now.
Oh, everybody does, though. So that's going to be the new norm. So don't worry about it.
My beard is really long. I haven't had a haircut in 3 months, and I knew the pandemic was coming. I said to myself, get one last haircut in, and I didn't do it.
And what about your beard? You could easily get rid of that, right?
Yeah, but it kind of goes with the wild hair.
No, I want to know how much weight have you gained?
I think I've actually lost weight. I look like I look like I belong on a deserted island right now. I'm scared to put myself on camera. I think people will be really shocked.
They won't be that shocked because everybody looks like that now.
That's
We're all
true.
going to be shocked when we see each other when we come out. We're going to be like, oh, my God.
That's
What
true.
do we say? We used to say in Boston, you look like, there were two things we would say. You look like who fucked it and ran,
Yeah, I like that.
or you look like you got hit with a bag of nickels.
Yeah, I like both of those. I missed those Boston sayings. Boston had the best
We-
sayings, right?
Yeah, the best sayings, the best nicknames.
Huh?
Sometimes I have sayings that I say and people are like, was that a different language? I'm like, no, that's the Bostonian thing.
All right.
Shit the Bed was one. Shit the Bed. I mean,
Right.
that's a big Boston one. And when I was dating a guy in New York and I was shooting a TV pilot in L.A., I called him and I said, I hope this pilot doesn't shit the bed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there was like 7 minutes of silence. And he was like, what did you just say? I go, shit the bed. And he's like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. I never knew that everybody didn't say shit the bed. We didn't even mean it literally. We just meant if it dies.
I feel like we said that on Long Island too, but I've lived so many different places, I'm not sure. Maybe I picked it up when I was in Boston. Who knows? I did my 3 years up there. I loved it, as you know.
I know.
So how do I fire you in the movie? Like, how does that go down? I'm just trying to...
Because I'm high.
Really?
I'm high when you try to have sex with me, and then you make me do a pee test.
Oh, so...
And I test positive, and so you get rid of me.
Oh, man, I really fuck you over.
Yeah.
Man, I think I'm going to do this movie with Sue Costello.
The script is so good, and it's so funny.
Now,
I'm executive producing it now, too.
Is it going to be set in Boston?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be wicked pissa.
It's going to be amazing. And the more we read the scenes together, like even me and my son, like it's a very heavy, the topics are heavy, but it's a funny movie, which is right up my alley.
Yeah.
I love that.
Perfect.
I love like dramatic tragedy, comedic tragedy, or...
I'm kind of bummed because I said wicked pissa because I was working on my Boston accent and you didn't pick up on it. So I have a lot of work to do.
I heard, yeah. It just feels like home to me. It feels natural.
I got a lot of work to do. I think I got to get my Boston accent back.
You'll get it back. It comes back in 5 seconds when you're around somebody.
Yeah, but then I'm going to confuse it with the New York accent, the Long Island accent. I got a little Philly accent in me. I say like water. I say...
Well, we got to get you to commit. You got to act. You got to do real acting now. You got to really commit and rehearse and get yourself prepared.
Yeah, but then I still have kind of a nasally thing from my time in Western New York. Those bastards up there, they speak through their nose, and I never got rid of it.
That's what I do, too, though. I do, too, don't I? Everybody always tells me I'm nasally.
You got a little nose. You got a little nose action with your speech. So what do you do during the day when you're stuck at home? I know you're doing the Sue TV.
I do yoga.
You're doing the yoga?
I do yoga.
Yeah, so do I.
My friend Ashley teaches at the Shower in New York City, and she just transferred over to online classes, so I do that.
Yeah.
I go out for a walk or run when I can. When I really can't stay in anymore, I put my mask on.
So when you go outside with your mask, do you get really frustrated when people aren't practicing their social distancing?
No, but I realize that I'm the only one that really gets out of the way.
Yes, I feel the same way. No, I'm serious.
I feel like no one else does it. I have to keep getting out of the way. That's what it feels like.
Well, because the coronavirus has become very political, like everything else in this country. So now if you're wearing a mask, you're pretty much looked at as a libtard, a snowflake. It's a hoax. Don't you understand? They're trying to keep us down. This is all bullshit. It's no worse than the flu.
But that's all dramatic, too. It's the exaggerated sides of both sides. You need to get to the middle on it. Well, everybody has a point, and we have to be able to tolerate people's opinions. We lost the art of listening, and we lost the art of tolerance of people's opinions.
That's brilliant, and it's the God's honest truth. There was a time in this country, I could barely remember it, that you actually listened to the other side, and you debated. Nowadays, you don't listen to the other side. You just watch them until they stop talking, and then you throw your talking points out that you actually got from somewhere else. They're not even really your thoughts at all. That's what I'm talking about the critical thinking. Why are they abandoning that critical thinking? I don't know. I don't know why they do that. Because guess what?
Because they got everybody on emotions. They got everybody all riled up. When everybody's like, they're trying to keep us down, or they're doing this, or Trump's doing this, sometimes I think they're abdicating their power to somebody who doesn't even really have that much power.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you giving somebody that much credit? I don't understand. No one person should have that much power, because then that perverts the power. Then that one person starts thinking that they have the power, but it takes two to tango. If we abdicate our power to Trump or whoever else you want it to be, that's our own fault. Why are the 1% winning when there's 99% of us?
Yeah, I think Triumph said it best when they said, fight the magic power.
Who said that?
Triumph.
Oh, hilarious. It is magic, because some of it's not even real. Like, it's because it used to be Democrats were more about social justice and more about humanity, and the Republicans were more fiscal. That's how it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
And you need both of those.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Not kind of. We're having a health crisis and a financial crisis right now. So we've split so far. We've split side so far that we're actually having a health crisis and a financial crisis right now. And the fact that our health care is attached to our jobs is insane. That is so crazy. That's going to have to shift.
Let me jump in for a second. So you're 100% right on the critical thinking, and you're 100% right on the fact that both sides need the other side. They keep each side balanced. If one side gets completely out of control, you will not recognize this country. And as far as critical thinking goes, you could listen. All right, let's say you're really into Fox News, or let's say you're really into MSNBC. Those are the dramatic sides, right? Believe it or not, if you're really into MSNBC and you tune in Fox, you actually will hear some things, if you're up for critical thinking, that you'll actually agree with, and vice versa. But people think if you watch MSNBC, let's say, you're a libtard, you're a snowflake, and I have no energy for you whatsoever. And that's sad. You got to listen to each other.
But we're doing it to ourselves in the sense that the 1% or whatever might not be coming after us to divide and conquer us. They might not be that smart. I think that's giving them too much credit.
Yeah.
I think what happens is we working people, us emotional people, we get into these fights instead of coming together, and then they just take advantage of it. They predict that we're gonna go against our own best interest because we have a million times. So I don't think they have that much power to because there's too many of us. Why do they have the power? The reason why they have the power is because we go against our own best interest all the time by being divided.
Oh my God.
Chappelle always said racism's worse than sexism.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do we have to one up each other?
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
If we all came together, if all the minorities came together, wouldn't we be the majority? And by minorities, I mean
everyone.
Not 1% right now.
Well, I blame Washington. Washington did this. They wanted us fighting with each other, so we ignore the real things that are happening in America. Because no matter who the president is, your health insurance is going to suck. The amount of taxes you pay is going to suck. And then people go, no, not really, because if the Democrats are in office, you're going to pay more taxes, blah, blah, blah. The fact is, no matter who's in office, we're paying way too many taxes. Our health insurance sucks. We can't even live properly. You know, most of us, if we lose our job for a couple of weeks, which is like happening now, that's why the unemployment numbers are completely and utterly through the roof, is because none of us have enough savings in case something like this happened. We were barely hanging on before the pandemic.
I was on Artie Lange's podcast. It was right when the ramblings were going on that Trump might run for president, and all the guys were laughing. It was me and all the guys. They were all laughing, and they said, Sue, what do you think? They always came to me and asked me what I thought and then laughed at me. They go, Sue, what do you think? And I said, I think that Trump could win fiscally. Because I've been watching for years. I watched Obama talk to the machinists in Michigan. Yeah. He talked down to them. I watched Hillary not go to Michigan. I watched her not go to Pennsylvania. Yeah. I watched the whole thing, and I watched the middle class get more and more disenfranchised. And they see Donald Trump as a successful businessman, and they were all disenfranchised with the rest of the politicians. So I knew in my head that at least they would vote for him because he was a wealthy businessman. And they laughed at me like hysterically. And then I remember walking into Stand Up New York, and Greg, the bartender, was like, Sue, you were right. I heard you on Artie's podcast. I'm like, I know. I'm always talking about the high numbers. I'm not emotional.
Wait, whose podcast was this on?
That was on Artie Lange's podcast.
Artie Lange?
Yeah.
Fuck Artie Lange. That's what I say today. That's what I say today. He started doing my radio show. He had great appearances on my radio show, even though he was cutting them short a lot to go to the bathroom and to run out of Sirius XM. But still, I got some great stuff out of him. And then he started texting me and DMing me and stuff that he really enjoyed, you know, doing my radio show. And he was thinking that we had something and that maybe we could put a show together, me and Artie. Fast forward, the guy doesn't even put me on his podcast. Not once. Another guy.
I bet you it's because you're good.
I'm too good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to play a very good abusive boss in your movie, Sue Costello. Because I'm too good.
I think you're going to be excellent at it. And if you get an award for it, I won't even take any credit for it. I'll be humble.
I will thank Sue Costello from that stage as I'm raising that Oscar and saying, this is
fuck
for
you, Artie and Mark Maron.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Oh, my God.
You guys aren't movie stars.
No, they're not movie stars. No, for real, man. I've so had it with people in general because had Mark Maron on my radio show for years. He did great radio, but no one knew Mark Maron like they know him today. And what happens to these people now that I'm not on the top of the mountain anymore? I'm not needed, so you're not going to, help the Opster out and give him a little
I don't know
push?
No, I think it's because you're good, Opie. I swear to God, I do. That's
right.
the hard numbers.
I like that. And that Artie Lange,
I do.
not once on his podcast, that Artie Lange. And then I tried to get him on my podcast, and they pretty much said, well, he can maybe call in. Call in? What the fuck? We're not in a pandemic. Now we are. Now I would accept a phone call from Artie Lange, but not back then.
But I do. I think sometimes people have to manage. I'm not like that. I love having really good people around me because I feel like it raises my game. I love it. You can be funnier than me. I don't care. I love it. I love it. It raises my game. But some people don't like that. Some people need to manage and control and be the center. And
I'll tell you this, Sue Costello. When your star falls to the ground like it did in my case, I mean, I was way up there. I was one of those bright stars. And now you can barely find that star. It's buried in the weeds somewhere on Earth. It has fallen. You realize who your real friends are. You realize who the real people are out there with good intentions and good morals and people that have a good soul.
But I think that's happening now, too. I think that's happening in this pandemic. I think people are really showing their colors. It's easy. We were all kind of like in this minutia, and it was like, hey, how you doing? We'll have lunch. Yeah. And now all of a sudden everybody's like, you're seeing people's true colors. You're seeing, and Cuomo did say that.
Yeah.
Cuomo did say in a time like this, you'll see the worst in people and you'll see the best in people.
See, I'm having a hard time listening to Cuomo because we're all trying to figure out if he has nipple rings or not.
That was really funny.
But it's true. The pictures were
I
around.
think he probably does. It's like a middle-aged man thing. They have, I don't know, maybe you need to get in on it.
That's creepy. No, I'm not getting in on the nipple ring, Sue. I don't think the governor of your state should have nipple rings. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's like a thing. I researched it because I was like, let me see what's going on here. Let me get the hard numbers.
Right.
And it's a real thing that goes on. These middle-aged men are piercing their nipples. It's a thing that they do.
I don't get that.
It's like a sexy thing, probably. They probably feel sexual with it.
Yeah, I mean,
just because he's the governor doesn't mean he's not a sexual being.
I understand that, but I always thought like nipple play, like when a lady would try to do something with my nipples, I'd be like, oh my God, no.
I'm going to do that when you try to sexually harass me.
Okay, good.
Try to flick your nipples.
Oh, you do that, you'll get some real acting. I'll get really bad real quick. No, because it just feels so goofy and silly. I'm like, oh, God, no. That's
the worst. When you try to do a sexy move on a guy and he's like, stop that, that's the most embarrassing. I don't think there's anything more embarrassing.
Oh, could you give me one that happened? What move did you try where you're like, oh, God.
I'm trying to think if I ever did anything weird.
Yeah.
I might have like bit somebody's ear or something thinking it was sexy, and they were like, what the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck? Fuck.
Oh, I've had a million embarrassing situations. I remember I was dating this firefighter, and I went up behind him. I was trying to be all sexy.
Yeah.
And I went up behind him, and he turned around. He's like, you get spinach in your teeth. I had like a whole spinach all in my teeth.
Really? Good for you. I love that. I always used to talk about the couples that were really kinky and used the sex toys. And, you're getting hot and heavy and you're in the bathroom, whatever. You're in the bathroom, you're in the bedroom, you're all over the house using these sex toys. And it seems right at the time and it's getting crazy and messy and insane. And then as soon as both parties are done, then the awkward cleanup starts, and then you're like putting your sex toys in the dishwasher together.
Yeah, that would be a funny sketch. That would be a hilarious sketch, like reality. What does reality really look like after the fact?
After the fact, and it happens immediately. Like something that makes complete sense, and then the act is over. You feel so uncomfortable immediately. You feel embarrassed. Everything.
See, that's the kind of comedy we like. We like that awkward, embarrassing, tantalizing. That's what we're going to give our fans with the movie.
All right, let me
give them awkward, embarrassing, tantalizing sex scenes.
All right, let me write something. I want you to work that into the movie. Maybe a cutaway to my home life, where I'm putting sex toys in the dishwasher.
Yeah, that's funny.
All
I'm
right.
telling you, Jeff would be open to it. Jeff's a really fun, the guy who wrote the script. He's totally open to it, and he's hilarious.
Jeff doesn't have a podcast that he didn't invite me on, does he?
No, there's no pre-resentment needed for Jeff yet.
Okay, good. I like that. All right, one last question, Sue Costello. How does this whole thing end? How does the pandemic end? How does the coronavirus end? How do you see this playing out?
The possibility of it disappearing is still there, too. That's another thing that people haven't brought to the table.
I don't believe that. Sorry.
Why not? SARS disappears.
SARS?
SARS.
Yeah,
disappeared.
Yeah, the SARS did disappear. I don't know. There's something different about this coronavirus. Seems like it's going to be with us for a while. I don't think it's going to be an easy fix, and I don't think it's going to go away. And I sadly think that the numbers for the rest of May and June are going to be completely out of control, unfortunately, because people have lost their patience. They need to get outside. They need to socialize, and I don't blame them, and I understand to a point. I'm already seeing it in my little town here, way out on Long Island, where people are not taking it as seriously already.
Oh, yeah, Alec Baldwin did a video the other day. He was not happy.
Wait,
From
who?
his East Hampton home. Alec Baldwin from his East Hampton home. We're like, Alec, all right, listen. He said that the people are walking down the street. They're drinking wine. They don't have masks on.
Alec Baldwin's got to shut up.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. These celebrities are like, I know it's all hard that we're staying home. And they're doing their videos from a ridiculous mansion that looks like the lobby of a Ritz-Carlton. And you could see like minority workers in the background. They don't even clean up the kitchen and tell all the minority workers that are stuck in their homes until this whole thing is over. Maybe go in another room because I got to make my video that it's really tough to stay home. And you see the landscapers outside the windows. Like, how hard is it for you? Are you kidding me? Shut up.
People have had it with this, though. People are like, somebody tweeted the other day about like Oprah and someone else is doing fundraising.
Yeah.
And they're like, billionaires asking people that are out of work for money. Stop. It's over. Cut it out.
Yeah, 100%, man.
I do think that's a good thing that's going to come out of it. This discrepancy between people. The discrepancy is going to get a little wider, and then it's going to come together. I do have faith that people are going to come together. I do have faith that if the numbers did go back up, I do think that I have faith in humanity. I'm going to go back to how I started this whole thing.
I want to have faith in humanity. I'm not making fun. I just groan because I don't have faith in humanity. I feel like this is a very important time in human history, and I just feel like we're gonna blow it.
But Opie, we already didn't blow it when it happened acutely, so that's a really good sign.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna listen.
We could
to
have
you.
blew it when it happened acutely. We could have went out of our minds, and the violence they could have looted. It could have been insane.
Yeah, I'm very spiritual these days, and I work on my soul. But still, I just feel like. I don't know. I feel like people are not going to get the lesson that comes from this. But you know what? Last word to you on this. Give me some hope, Sue Costello. Give me some hope.
My hope is, first of all, I'm going to go back to how I started this whole podcast.
Yes.
People, if you told everybody that one day the economy was going to completely crash, there was going to be a health crisis, a virus that went through the whole entire world that you couldn't see, that nobody knew where it was going to come from.
Yeah.
And everybody was going to be locked in their homes.
Yeah.
Everybody would have told you that people would have went absolutely batshit, and they haven't gone batshit. They've actually been very respectful and amazing, and everybody's been doing a great job by staying in. And now what's happening is we need a phase 2.
Yeah.
And we don't have a leader giving us a phase 2. That's what we need right now. We need a phase 2. Because think about it. If you give people, I used to say this with my TV show Costello. I used to say, people don't underestimate the audience. They always dumb down the jokes. And I'm like, no, don't underestimate them. And people will rise to what you give them.
Yeah.
If you give a callback and stand up, people love it because it's a gift. It makes them feel smart when you call back something in your stand-up act. It's the same thing with a good joke. It's like the audience will rise. I feel like we as American people, if they're given something, they will rise up. But right now, we're given a lot of fear. The media is giving a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of fake stories coming out, so it's breeding this divide. And I think we should go into phase 2, and that if we give people something, if we gave everybody, we said, listen, if you really do this, this is what's going to happen. And people believed it, they would do it. I have 1,000,000% belief in that.
All right. There you go.
It's just like you want to talk about herd immunity.
Yeah.
If we all got together, there might be some weaklings on the side, but the group of us would overpower that.
Yeah. And we would move forward, right?
Yeah.
Sue Costello, I appreciate this. I appreciate your friendship. I want people to check out Sue Costello TV. How do they check that out?
Sue Costello on Facebook, and I am Sue Costello on Instagram. Every day live at 5, and then they all live on my Facebook page, and then they live on SueCostello.com under Sue TV. All 43 episodes are up there right now, so you can go watch all of them.
And you tweet it out when you're doing it, too. So that's how I've seen it, because I click on the link. I've been watching. You're doing a very good job.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I just want to maintain, I keep saying, everybody, if I can maintain the buoyancy that by the time we are allowed to go out, we won't be so far down the rabbit hole that we have to dig ourselves out of it. That's really what I'm doing right now. Eventually, I'll grow it to more. But right now, I just want to have something where people can come at 5 o'clock and see pleasantness. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
All right. Thank you so much, Sue.
Thank you. Get moving on that scene.
I think I proved myself today. I'm going to be a great sexually harassing boss in your movie.
I love it.
Boo, 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 boo.
Movie Radio.
Boo, 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 boo. Boom, 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 boom. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo,